The idea of the Anunnaki, ancient extraterrestrial beings believed by some to originate from the planet Nibiru, gains its roots from interpretations of ancient Sumerian texts and the work of scholars like Zecharia Sitchin. Sitchin proposed that these beings visited Earth over 400,000 years ago to mine for gold, a resource they needed to stabilize Nibiru's atmosphere. Before we start, we'd like to ask for your support. If you enjoy our video, please hit the like button. This will help us reach more people and create content for you. Now let's get started with today's video. The Anunnaki concept, as popularized by works like Ancient Aliens, does not directly align with biblical teachings or traditional interpretations of the Bible. However, theories about ancient astronauts, extraterrestrial beings, and their potential connections to human history have sparked some interest in how such ideas might relate to biblical accounts, particularly in books like Genesis and Revelation. While the Bible doesn't explicitly mention extraterrestrial beings or the planet Nibiru, some researchers and authors attempt to connect the Anunnaki narrative to biblical events and entities. In this summary, we'll cover Sumerian origins of the Anunnaki, Zecharia Sitchin's theories, similarities and differences with biblical texts, connections to the Bible's giants, Nephilim, criticisms and challenges to the theory. 1. Sumerian origins of the Anunnaki. The name Anunnaki comes from ancient Sumerian mythology and refers to a pantheon of gods worshipped in Mesopotamia, present-day Iraq. According to the Sumerians, the Anunnaki were the offspring of Anu, the sky god, and Ki, the earth goddess. Ancient tablets describe them as powerful beings involved in creation myths, often thought to have governed the world from the heavens. Theories surrounding the Anunnaki often stem from the discovery of cuneiform tablets, clay inscriptions with one of the oldest known writing systems. Scholars, including Zecharia Sitchin, attempted to interpret these texts and suggested that the Anunnaki came from a distant planet, which Sitchin called Nibiru, in search of gold to repair their atmosphere. Sitchin believed they arrived on Earth around 400,000 years ago, genetically engineered early hominids, and created humanity to serve as their labor force. 2. Zecharia Sitchin's theories. In the 1970s, Zecharia Sitchin, a journalist and researcher, popularized the idea that the Anunnaki were extraterrestrial beings. Sitchin's book series, The Earth Chronicles, interprets Sumerian texts as evidence of these beings arriving on Earth from the planet Nibiru. He argued that Nibiru has a highly elliptical orbit, bringing it close to Earth approximately every 3,600 years. Sitchin proposed that the Anunnaki needed Earth's gold to protect Nibiru's atmosphere and thus mined it here. He claimed the Anunnaki genetically engineered early humans by combining their DNA with hominids to create a labor force that could mine gold more efficiently. Sitchin suggested that these beings taught the first civilizations, Sumer, Mesopotamia, advanced knowledge, including astronomy, engineering, and mathematics. Sitchin's interpretations gained popularity but were not without controversy. Many scholars dispute his translations, arguing they were misinterpretations or speculative rather than founded on actual evidence from Sumerian texts. 3. Similarities and differences with biblical texts. The Bible does not refer to extraterrestrial beings or a distant planet like Nibiru. However, there are some parallels between Sumerian and biblical accounts that people often highlight. The most notable overlap is the account of creation in Genesis, which describes God creating the heavens, the earth, and all living beings. Genesis and the creation of humans. Sumerian myths mention the Anunnaki as creators of humanity, potentially analogous to the God of Genesis who created Adam and Eve. However, in the Bible, God creates humankind in his own image. Genesis 1 verse 27. A vastly different premise than genetic engineering by extraterrestrial beings. The flood narrative. Both Sumerian and biblical accounts include a great flood. The Epic of Gilgamesh contains a flood story predating the biblical account, where the gods flood the earth due to human noise or disobedience. In the Bible, Noah's flood occurs because God is grieved by humanity's wickedness. Genesis 6 verses 5 to 7. Tower of Babel and language. The Bible recounts the story of the Tower of Babel, where God confuses human language to disperse people across the earth. Genesis 11 verses 1 to 9. Some theorists propose this could parallel myths where the Anunnaki granted humans the knowledge to communicate. Enoch's writings and angelic beings. Some biblical texts, especially the Book of Enoch, describe heavenly beings interacting with humans. In Enoch, watchers descend to earth and intermingle with humans. While Enoch's story primarily involves angels, some theorists equate these beings with the Anunnaki. Connections to the Bible's giants. Nephilim. One of the most frequently cited biblical references in Anunnaki theories is the Nephilim. In Genesis 6 verse 4, the Nephilim are described as the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men. Some interpretations claim that these sons of God could be ancient astronauts or even the Anunnaki, who interbred with humans to create a race of giants or demigods. This connection is speculative, as traditional biblical interpretation sees the Nephilim as either fallen angels or a different class of beings created by God, not extraterrestrial entities. Despite this, some researchers link the Nephilim with ancient myths of giants found in various cultures, suggesting a potential extraterrestrial origin. 5. Criticisms and challenges to the theory. Scholarly objections to the Anunnaki Nibiru theory are numerous. Misinterpretation of ancient texts. Many linguists and archaeologists argue that Sitchin misinterpreted or selectively interpreted Sumerian texts. Professional scholars have noted that Sitchin's translations do not align with standard Sumerian and Akkadian language structures and meanings. Lack of astronomical evidence for Nibiru. Astronomers have found no concrete evidence for Nibiru. While there are theories of a potential Planet 9 in our solar system, it's unlikely to fit Sitchin's description of Nibiru or its orbit. Scientific inconsistencies. Theories about the Anunnaki involve genetically engineering humans, a process far beyond the scope of known ancient technology. The evolutionary history of humans, supported by fossil records and DNA evidence, does not align with the timeline suggested by the Anunnaki theory. Spiritual and theological disputes. Many theologians point out that these theories distort traditional biblical interpretations and introduce speculative ideas without sufficient evidence. The Bible emphasizes a monotheistic view of God as the sole creator, a notion fundamentally opposed to the idea of multiple deities or extraterrestrial beings engineering humanity. Conclusion. Myth, mystery, and modern speculation. The Anunnaki theory remains a fascinating exploration of myth, ancient texts, and modern speculative thinking. While ancient Mesopotamian deities and the myth of the Anunnaki continue to inspire stories of gods descending from the heavens, these tales are often speculative rather than historical. Sitchin's work ignited interest in humanity's origins and the potential for ancient civilizations with advanced knowledge. Please subscribe my YouTube channel. I hope you like this video. Thank you.